Hello everybody, welcome back to the Spending Makeover series. Today we're going to talk about what do you really do if you don't have enough money or any money left over to save. Let's get right into it and talk about it. I feel the topic of savings is so important. I'm dedicating 2 weeks to it. This week I'm going to talk about what do you really do if you don't have any money to save. And then the second week I'm talking about automation, savings, higher interest savings account, because I've gotten some requests and I'm going to give a little bit of information on that topic. So this week we are talking about folks that just don't have enough money to even set aside $5. What do you do in that situation? And I will tell you, there's many wonderful budgeting channels out there that give so much good information. I do have to say that many of these channels, they do have full-time jobs and they're bringing in a healthy income. And so when folks out there that are watching these budgeting channels for tips are seeing this, sometimes, and I know this from people reaching out to me, they kind of feel bad because they don't feel they can really afford to set aside anything, and they see everyone else, saving lots of money each month. Well, this is the biggest thing that I want to get across in this video, and it was a huge lie I told myself for years. There's been times in my life where I've made more money and made less money. Right now, I'm in a lower middle class income, so I am able to at least save. But when I've even made less than what I am now, I used to tell myself, I don't even have any extra to save, and I have no extra to invest. I just don't make enough. And I even told myself that, and even some friends told me, yeah, Dawn, you really don't make enough. You need to make more money so so that you are able to save and invest. That is wrong. No amount is too small to save. So let's take somebody that, brings in $1,200 a month, Social Security or disability, and that's all they have. Maybe they're not able to work or do anything extra. And all they have after paying their bills and groceries is $100 left over. But they feel they need to keep that in case things come up. What you can start out doing, and this is my biggest advice, is start out small. Set $10 a month, $5 a month, anything you can into an emergency savings. But treat it like a bill, so that if you put that $10 a month into a savings account, which is $120 a year, you wouldn't get your money back from a bill. So guess what? You won't get it back from your savings account. Set it aside so that way if there is a true emergency, such as something that you really don't have money to pay for, such as an unexpected repair, something of that nature, you've got something to fall back on. My biggest thing I want to say in this video is that no amount is too small to save. Just get started, even if it's $1 a month. Obviously, the more we save, the better, right? But you know what? If you're on a lower income, $10 a month is sure better than nothing, and it's a great way to start. So that's my biggest advice. Now, one thing that we've talked about before, obviously, is if you're on a smaller income, you have 3 choices. Number 1, find a way to increase your income, whether it's, maybe eBaying, babysitting part-time, whatever you wish. Increase your income. Number 2, cut expenses, things that are not fixed. Number 3, do the marriage of them both. Those are our 3 options. So basically, I like combining those, but that may not be an option for everybody. So I wrote down a few little ideas. The first thing you got to do is figure out how much you're bringing in. Secondly, create a budget, fixed and non-fixed expenses. Non-fixed would be groceries. So let's say that you have a $30 a week grocery budget just for you. So that's, $120 for a month, for example, if it's 4 weeks. Let's say you only spend $110. You take that $10 and you put it in savings. That would be something good you can do. Now, what I want to say about fixed expenses is fixed expenses seem fixed, but they may not always be fixed. For example, let's say you really don't use the internet that much, and maybe there's a cheaper package, or you could get something a little less expensive because you don't use it. Or you notice that you've got a smartphone with all the features and you're paying for unlimited data and you're paying $75 a month for that, but it's your only phone. Could you get a better option? So always rethink those fixed expenses. Number 3, Anything left over, at least take part of it and put it in the savings account. Number 4, and you guys know I've talked about this, change jar. You know what, you can even ask some of your friends, hey, if you have any leftover change you don't want to put in your pockets, put it in my change jar. I used to have friends do that. They would just put their pennies in there. That adds up. Number 5, any kind of windfalls or gifts. If people know you're on a tighter budget, and if you gift each other little things, you could ask some of your friends, hey, you know, if they ask you what would you like, you could say, you know what, a $10 grocery card would be great. That would be a blessing. That's something that I can use. Ask for more practical gifts. Number 7, and this is huge, reallocate your budget every month. Look at how you can improve. No matter who we are, there's always things that each and every one of us can do to improve. I've improved in the last 3 years, but guess what? I still have a lot more improvements to make. Number 8, and you know, some people would feel comfortable doing this, some people wouldn't. See what different types of resources are out there. For example, I do know of some people that do take advantage of some food banks. I know of someone that actually volunteers a couple hours a week at a food bank, and from that she's able to take some of the food because sometimes they have food waste. And so it's good to kind of know that. Let's see what resources are out there. You know, for example, I have another friend of mine that she doesn't buy any clothes. She goes to free clothing events. And I've actually been to one before or she, you know, gets involved in a clothing or book exchange, or she goes on OfferUp and gets as much stuff as she can free. I actually know somebody else, and I know this is very controversial, that they dumpster dive for all their food, and they, you know, they know what they're doing, and they've been doing it a while, and they know where to go. They get most of their food dumpster diving. Now, I'm not trying to say you'd want to do that. To be honest, my family would not care for me to do that. But each person needs to do what fits their lifestyle. Like I always say, that's why we call it personal finance. Each person needs to do what works for them and what is relevant to their personal lifestyle. So I like to say that quite often, as you notice. These are just some of the ideas. The thing I'm going to leave you with is, if you are on a really, really tight income, think about, is there any way you can increase it? Are there areas you can cut back? Is there anything you could do to even save a small amount of money each month? I have a feeling if we all get our creativity going and we start doing a brain dump and writing down ideas, I think we'll be pretty amazed. Let me know what you think. Do you have any advice for somebody that's on a really tight budget? How can they start saving even a small amount? I'd like to hear from you in the comments below. That's all for now. This is Money Mom signing off, and as always, I love you. Bye-bye.